What are your thoughts about women are creating a future of leadership, opportunity, and empowerment?
Um, I think women are trying. I get it. They are trying. You know what I mean? They trying to deal with the world with the hand that they were dealt. But the problem, and Shan kind of alluded to this, is you can't do that without your man. You can't do that while putting down and simultaneously put down your man or weaponize it against your man. That's where the problem comes into play. Or you do it in spite of your man. Because all the other like if we look at all the other communities, they do with. So when everybody else is getting educated, they're getting educated with. Trev, do your wife have a higher education?
Yes.
Bruiser? Mine's tried, but she a hairstylist and I'm a barber, so it wasn't for lack of trying. But we don't have a problem with our women getting educated. The problem is when you do it to spite the men that you're supposed to be with. If you're when you're saying I'm gonna do this so that I don't have to deal with you, that's where we draw the line. That's why your education doesn't matter to us because you're telling me that the only reason why you're getting it is to be away from me.
I mean, that makes sense. Women never say, I went to school, to get a degree to make money so I can provide for my family or so forth. Unless she's a single mom, then that's different. But usually in the beginning, they say they want to go to school, make money to be independent. Independent of who? Of men. And that's why they scream, I'm strong and independent, don't need no man. So, and then when men say, okay, yeah, it's good you have a degree, but I don't care for it. Oh, how can you not care about my degree? But it's like men want different things from women. Women want different things from men. And one of the things men don't really care about is the education and the degrees. Unfortunately, we want different things.
Or leverage it.
Or leverage it against me. You absolutely right. Go get your education, and he's gonna go get certified in plumbing or some shit like that. And you're gonna become a school teacher or whatever y'all do with y'all education. School teachers get with plumbers all the time.
Hmm.
You know, get a business degree and become a that's an expensive secretarial degree. But I mean, hey, do you? But you're supposed to do you alongside your men. You cannot. There is no getting ahead. That y'all can't leapfrog us or try to leave us behind or any of that because it inherently does not work. Not because I'm telling y'all the job, but it just doesn't work. Just like we can't get forward without y'all. Because without y'all, there's no children. Without y'all, there's no family. Without us, there's no protection. Without us, there's no family. Without us, there's no children. Without us, there's no growth. So her talk champion, and I think Amir said it. It sounds as if again, and Cheyenne Bryant kills me sometimes, but you're saying it again to in spite of men. Just like on that show where she said black women are running circles around black men because we decided not to go to college. Because we decided, hey, I'm gonna go be an electrician, or I'll go be a mechanic, I'll go be a because I chose that, and you chose your a degree in education or whatever. I don't know exactly what women are choosing their degrees in, but because you chose your degree in that, that means that you're running circles around me.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue men have these days. It's like when a man decides to become an electrician, gets a trade to become a plumber, whatever kind of trade they get, women who get degrees kind of feel like they're better than these guys who got trades. And it's a weird dynamic. And they say, I want a man on my level. And if she has a degree, she went to college without student loan debt, and this guy went to a trade school without any student loan debt, but he's still making good money. They claim he's not on, she claims the guy who with the trade, who's a plumber, electrician, is not on her level because he didn't go to college, because he didn't decide to get $50,000 in student loan debt. And that's crazy to me. It's like they're passing over all these good guys, good, stable guys with stable careers because they didn't go to college. Like that criteria of choosing a partner is probably I don't know who started that trend. I've seen it on social media on TikTok. They claim men who didn't get degrees are bad, and men who have blue collar jobs, trades, electrician, plumbers, HVAC, they're not good enough.
Because I chose a trade and you chose a degree. We both in the same boat regardless. You make 50-some thousand dollars off of your degree. I make 50-some thousand dollars off of my goddamn trade. And hopefully, you know what I mean? Shout out to Shan, she a school teacher. Hopefully one day she becomes an administrator. And then, you know, she don't want to do that. But you know, you progress and then I progress. But if you're going to try to go it alone, then your degree means jack shit to us. That's why we say that. Your
Sure.
education means jack shit to us if you're going to go it alone.
Oh my God, Sweeney, you worded that so well. If you want to go at it alone, it means nothing to us.
And I
think that oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
I think that people, and that's the thing, like we gotta have real conversation. People not doing it alone, they just not getting married. This is the problem. People keep saying it ain't nobody. If you talk to people in the streets and you speak to, more than likely, you go to a girl, she's already talking to somebody. You talk to men, he's talking to somebody. They're just not getting married. The bigger question is, why are y'all in these long relationships doing whatever you're doing and you're not getting married? We don't value marriage. That's the real issue here.
That's true.
It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. We don't value marriage.
Yeah, but ask yourself why. Why don't we value marriage? Maybe because you as a woman, you were taught that marriage is slavery. Maybe because you were taught that in the marriage you're going to be controlled by a man because he wants you to stay and, you know, stay home as he provides and stay home and cook as he goes out to, you know, find the money to pay for the bills at home. You know, or maybe you were taught that, you know, in a marriage you can just easily divorce the man anytime you want, and men are saying, maybe I shouldn't get married. So what's the reason why?
Our race of people, for whatever reason, we don't value marriage. That's where the real problem.
I argue that we value it too much because people will have a baby before they get married because they'll say marriage is too much of a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or they look at it as a burden, right? They look at it as a bigger responsibility. But then again, there it is. It's still a value. It's like you don't want it enough to even take on the responsibility of it. I'd rather do without.
Or you hold it in such high esteem that you don't want to mess it up. People that mess up having multiple children fathers, but they don't want to get married and have a divorce. I think they feel that's a bigger mark against them than anything. From what I've heard people who discussed having a baby and because they got a couple of different people that go and interview people on the street, and they're like, would you rather have, what's more of a commitment to you, a marriage or a baby? And the people all say a marriage.
And like, were these younger people, like 30s and younger?
They were 35 and down.
Yeah, and I think it's within that generation where marriage is not as important. And since the men are the ones that would have to propose the marriage to begin with, I think a lot of men nowadays who are 35 and younger, for one, don't want to be married because they see the burden, I guess, that comes along with being married. They don't feel that a lot of women are marriage material, and they don't feel ready for marriage. I feel that a lot of men, and this goes back to the education thing. Yes, a lot of men could go out and get trades instead of going to school, but they're not, it's men that aren't doing that either. They don't know what they want to do. And instead of trying to figure that out, they spend a lot of their time being lost, even up until their 30s. So I feel our generation isn't even thinking about marriage until they get to their 40s or 50s. That's when they finally feel like they've made it to that place where they are finally an adult and can make adult decisions like marrying someone.
So Ty, the reason why I brought up the trades, right? Because this is not to say, because most black people, also most black men, most black women don't go to college either. That's a fact. However, if I was to make an argument for who a woman who is educated at least at a bachelor's degree level, who is her socioeconomic equivalent, it would be the man that goes to trade school. So that's why I brought it up. Most black folks are just working regular ass jobs. They work in customer service, the UPS, the post office, Amazon. You know, they're doing those type of things, or they you know what I mean. But and that's men and women across the board, and most men are just are doing some of the same jobs.
Yeah, but the issue is average women don't want average men. And if the average woman has a college degree, she doesn't want a man who doesn't have a college degree, even if she has $100,000 in student loan debt. And if she happens to find a man, she expects the man to help her pay off her student loan debt. So it's like, it's the standards. And like I said, I don't know if it's the social media. I don't know where all these weird standards women have. But for as long as women have all these crazy standards where they overlook normal average men because they don't make enough to take them to Dubai and to Turks and Caicos and to Cancun in Mexico, as long as those are standards they have, the marriage and the relationship and the dating is going to keep going down and down and down. Some men are going to check out. Some men are going to go to Brazil, to Colombia, and some men are just going to give up. Because if you're saying I have to take you to a $200 dinner date for you to know that I have money or I'm willing to spend it or that I like you, then I'm not going to do it. Because what have you done? What have you done for me to take you to a $200 dinner date that I don't even buy for myself? You feel me? So men are doing the math and they're saying, oh, you know what? This is not worth it. Anyway, man, shout out to Lapif. Link down below to the full video.